the shark's teeth may be lethal, still you see them, white and red, but you won't see Mackie's flick knife. Cause he slashed you, and you're dead.
Jenny Dimple was a stripper. Someone ripped her for me to win. The knife work was artistic. Seems that Mackie was nowhere near. Someone's lying by the telly with his children and his wife. It's a painting done in crimson. You can sign it, Mac the Knife. The recall scene was the rottest for his curved lips and a grin. Last of all was full to bursting, strange that no one saw a thing. Little Johnny was abducted, and they sought him high and low. Though his parents paid the ransom, Mackie slashed him weeks ago. You remember that bar in Hounslow? 20 agents and a cat. While they're raking through the embers, there's a flick knife. Fancy that. There's a schoolgirl who's a cool girl with a baby at her breast. Someone robbed her, someone's raped her.
Someone's flick knife did the rest. These may seem like scary stories, but don't have nightmares or be upset. Still he's evil, he's a murderer, and they haven't caught him yet. He's a rapist, he's a sadist, and they haven't caught him yet.
Act 1, Scene 1. To combat the increasing callousness of mankind, J. Peacham, a man of business, has opened his own shop where the poorest of the poor come to acquire an exterior, which hits the hardest parts.
We've all got a living to make. So get up and steal from your neighbour. The beggar, the banker, the cop. They're all of them out on the tick. And the treadmill, it ain't going to stop. So awake, you poor sinners, awake! Something new's needed. My business is too hard. For my business is arousing human sympathy. There are a few things that stir a man's soul, just a few. But the trouble is, after repeated use, they lose their effect. Because man has the abominable gift of being able to deaden his feelings, so to speak. Suppose, for instance, a man sees another man standing on the corner with a stump for an arm. The first time he sees him, he might be surprised enough to give him 10 pence. But the second time, it'll only be 5 pence. And if he sees him the third time, he'll hand him over to the police without batting an eyelash. It's the same with the spiritual approach. What good are the most beautiful, the most poignant sayings painted on the most enticing little signs when they get expended so quickly? The Bible has 4 or 5 sayings that stir the heart. Once a man's expended them, there's nothing left for it but starvation. Take this one, for instance. Give, and it shall be given unto you. How threadbare is it after hanging there for a mere 3 weeks? Yeah, you have to keep on offering something new. So it's back to the good old Bible again. But how long can it go on providing?
Mrs. Peacham and Co.
Peacham?
Are you the proprietor of Beggar's Friends Ltd? I've been sent to you. Fine slogans you've got up there. Money in the bank. Got a whole library full of them. What chance has a bloke like me got to think up ideas like that, and how can business progress without education?
What's your name?
Well, it's like this, Mr. Peacham. I've been down on my luck since a young boy. Mother drank. Father gambled. Left on our own resources at an early age. Never had a mother's tender hand as I sank deeper and deeper into the quicksands of the big city. Never had a father's care or blessing of a happier home. So now you see me.
So now I see you.
Bereft of all support. A prey to base and instincts.
Like a derelict on a high season, soul. Now tell me, derelict, which district have you been reciting that fairy story in?
Well, it's like this. Yesterday in the Highland Street, there was a little unpleasant incident. That was in the corner. No suspicion of anything.
Highland Street? Yeah, right. You're that bastard that Honey and Sam caught yesterday. You had the impudence to be molesting passers-by in District 10. We let you off for the thrashing because we had reason to believe you didn't know what's what. But if you show your face again, it'll be the chop for you.
Please, Mr. Peacham. The gentlemen beat me black and blue. They gave me your business card. If I took off my coat, you think you're looking at fish on the slab?
My friend, if you're not as flat as a nipper, then my men weren't doing their job properly. Along come these young whippersnappers who think they've only got to hold out their paw to land a steak. What would you do if someone started fishing the best trout out of your pond?
I haven't got a pond.
Licences are delivered to professionals only. London is divided into 14 districts. Any man who intends to practice the craft of begging in any one of them needs a licence from Jonathan, Jeremiah, Peacham and Co. Why? Anyone could come along, a prey to his baser instincts.
Please, Mr. Peacham, only a few shillings stand between me and utter ruin.
£1.
Please, Mr. Peacham. 10 bob.
Plus 50% of your take settle up once a week. With outfit, 70%.
What does the outfit consist of?
That's for the firm to decide.
Which district could I start in?
Baker Street, numbers 2 to 104. That comes even cheaper. Only 50% including the outfit.
Very well.
Your name?
Charles Filch.
Right. Celia!
What?
This is Filch, number 314. I'll do his entry myself. Trust you to pick this moment to apply, just before the coronation, when for once in a lifetime, there's a chance of making a little something. Outfit C!
What's that?
Those, my friend, are the 5 basic types of misery, those most likely to touch the human heart. The sight of such types put a man in an unnatural state where he is willing to part with money. Outfit A. Victim, of vehicular progress. The merry paraplegic, always cheerful, always carefree, emphasised by Armstrong. Outfit B, victim of the higher strategy. Molests passers-by, operates by inspiring nausea. Outfit C, victim of advanced technology, the pitiful blind man, the cordon bleu of beggary. He's sorry for me! You'll never be a beggar as long as you live! You're only fit to be begged from! Very well, outfit D. Celia! You've been drinking again and now you can't see straight. Number 136 complained about his outfit. How many times have I got to tell you a gentleman don't put on filthy clothes? The only thing that could inspire pity was the stains, and they should have been added by adding on candle wax. But I've got to do everything myself. Take your clothes off and put this on. Mind you, look after it.
What about my thing?
Property of the firm. Outfit E. Young man who's seen better days. Or if you'd rather, never thought he'd come to this.
Oh, you used them again. What can I do the better days at?
Because nobody can make his own suffering sound convincing, my boy. If you have a bellyache and say so, people will simply be disgusted. Anyway, you're not here to ask questions, but to put these things on.
But I'm not taking off my shoes. They're the only thing that my poor mother ever gave to me. I'll soon you pack the whole thing in. I may have sunken pretty low, but
Oh, shake her legs, son. I'm not standing around your trousers till Christmas.
what am I supposed to wash my feet in the middle of winter?
Stop dribbling. But you'll know you've got dirty feet.
Celia! Where's your daughter?
Polly? She's upstairs.
Has that man been here again? One who's always coming round when I'm out?
Don't be so suspicious, Jonathan. There isn't no finer gentleman that takes a real interest in our Polly.
I see.
Fuck off and I in my head. I think Polly thinks he's very nice too.
Celia, the way you chuck your daughter around, anyone would think I was a millionaire. Wanted to marry her off? The idea. Do you think this lousy business of ours will survive a week? If those ragamuffins are customers had nothing better than our legs to look at? Our husband. He'd have us in his clutches in 3 shakes. In his clutches!
Well, what fine opinion of your daughter you have?
The worst. The very worst. A lump of sensuality, that's what she is.
So she can get it from you.
Marriage. I expect my daughter to be to me as bread to the hungry. It even says so somewhere in the Bible. Anyway, marriage is disgusting. I'll teach her to get married.
Oh, Jonathan, you're just a barbarian.
Barbarian? What's this gentleman's name?
Don't call him anything but the captain.
So you haven't even asked him his name?
You don't suppose we'd ask for a fucking birth certificate when a fine gentleman invites me and my daughter Polly to the Cuttlefish Hotel for a little
Where?
to the Cuttlefish Hotel for a little walk.
Cuttlefish Hotel?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he always handles me and Polly with kid gloves.
Kid gloves?
Yeah. Kid gloves. White kid gloves. He always wears them.
I see. White gloves,
Yeah.
a cane with an ivory handle,
Yeah.
spats,
Yeah.
patent leather shoes,
Yeah.
and a scarf.
On his neck. Is there anyone you don't fucking know, Jonathan?
Mr. Peachum, surely you can give me a few tips. I've always believed in having a system.
A system?
He can be a half-wit. Come back at 6 and I'll teach you the rudiments. Now piss off!
Thank you very much, Mr. Peachum.
50%! And I'll tell you who this gentleman with the kid gloves is. Mac the Knife!
I'm trying to drink this making my way, Polly! Where's my daughter, Polly?
Polly! Polly's not come home. Her bed's not been slept in.
She'll be gone to a meal with that wool merchant. That'll be it, Jonathan.
Let's hope to God it was the wool merchant. Kids today. never give a monkeys what their parents say. They prefer love, they prefer love. Busy misbehaving instead of saving for a rainy day.
They love the moon, I'm so high. They fall for the tacky, this is my hat, beating stuff. They fall for the overwheels for a dirty bullets. And a good honest job is good enough.
Moons in June, Mills and Boone, doodling and canoodling every afternoon. Children today, what can we say? Someone didn't bring them up the motherfucking proper way. They love that moon, I'm so high. They fall that tacky, this is my heart beating stuff. They go for that overwheels for eternity bullets. And a good honest job isn't good enough.
Act 1, Scene 2. Mark the Knife is celebrating his marriage to Polly Peacham, the Beggar King's daughter, at their stable.
Hey, anybody there?
Well, is there anybody?
No, just the piece for the wedding. Ah, it's a stable.
Sit on my feet a bit for the moment, Polly. Today, this stable will witness my marriage to Miss Polly Peacham, who has followed me for love in order to share my life with me.
Well, over London, they'll be saying this is the most daring job you've ever done. Enticing Mr. Peacham's only daughter from home.
Who's Mr. Peacham?
He'll tell you, he's the most poorest man in London.
But you can't be meaning to have a wedding here. Why, it's a stable. You can't ask the vicar to a place like this. Besides, it isn't even ours. We all want to start a new life with a burglary knack. This is the biggest day of my life!
Dear child, everything shall be done as you wish. We can't have you upset in any way. The trimmings will be here in a moment.
No, don't drop that!
I'm trying!
Congratulations!
What is this junk?
I can't forget that.
Yeah. 14 Ginger Street, there were some people on the second floor. We had to smoke them out.
Amateurs.
We did the best we could, but 3 of them were past thinking.
Amateurs and bunglers.
And Lord Jacob had to be. I don't think it's anything serious.
My orders were avoid bloodshed! Makes me sick to think of it. You'll never make businessmen. Cannibals, perhaps, but not businessmen.
Hey, ma'am. Just an hour ago, that hapsicle right there belonged to the Duchess of Somerset. Congratulations.
What is this furniture anyway?
How do you like the furniture, Polly?
Oh, those poor people! All for a few sticks of furniture!
What's furniture? Jump! What about a table?
A table? A table.
Oh, I'm so miserable! I only hope the vicar doesn't come!
Of course they will come. We gave the vicar exact directions.
Table?
My wife is very much upset. Where are the rest of the chairs? Use your heads. For once, I'm having a wedding. And how often does that happen?
Actually.
Shut up, Dreary! And how often does it happen I leave you to do something on your own? And when I do, you start by upsetting my wife. Dear Polly. What fucking kittens you call Dear Polly, you squirt? Have you ever heard the like? Dear Polly, I suppose you've been to bed with her.
Dear ma'am, if any items of furniture to be lacking, we'll be only too glad to go back and some more.
No chairs. Speaking as the bride, what do you say to that?
It could be worse.
2 chairs and a sofa, and the bridal couple has to sit on the floor.
Something new, I'd say.
The finished article, madam. There's your bench.
We are now kindly asked the gentlemen to take off those filthy rags and put on some decent clothes. This isn't just anybody's wedding, you know. Polly, stop it.
What?
I ask you to look after the fire.
Was that our wedding feast? Was it not stolen, Mac?
Of course. Of course.
I wonder what we do if there's a knock at the door and the sheriff steps in.
I'll show you what your husband will do in that situation.
The mountain police are sure to be coming down from Daventry. They'll be escorting the Queen just in time for the coronation.
14 forks. And 1 knife. Brilliant.
What's incompetence? That's the work of apprentices, not experienced men. Have any sense of style. Fancy not knowing the difference between Chippendale and Louis XIV.
We only wanted to bring the most valuable stuff. Look at that wood. Really high class.
Sis, permit us.
Polly, come here.
Permit us, Captain, on the most great day of your life, or rather the full bloom of your career, to offer you our most sincere and heartiest congratulations, etc., etc., that poor shot down half made me sick. In other words, keep your elbow tight.
Shut your traps! You leave that filth for Kitty. She's the kind of slut that's appreciated.
Mac, don't be so vulgar. Here, don't call Kitty a slut. Besides, I never used such filth with her. I respect her too much, but you understand the way you are. Don't think she didn't tell me things you told her. Compared to that, I've driven slow.
Cut it out! This is a wedding.
And a fine wedding, isn't it, Polly? Having to see trash like this around you on the day of your wedding. You wouldn't have thought your husband's friend would let him down. Think about
Polly,
it.
nobody's letting you down. What's the difference of opinion between friends? Besides, Kitty is as good as the next girl. Then I'll bring out your wedding present, mate.
Yeah!
Let's see it, yeah.
Here, thank you. Oh. What a lovely nightgown.
I get it! I didn't mean to hurt your feelings on this festive occasion.
What'd you say to the Chippendale?
Cattles.
Oh, I'm so happy. It's so nice of you. It's just a shame we've no flat to put it.
Walter, go ahead. Clear this stuff away now. Food!
Trust me to commit scandal again. Believe me, young lady, I find it most distressing. It doesn't matter in the least, Mr. Quickbricker. There's the boys bringing presents right and left. It is me standing in like a fool. What a situation to be in. It's always the way with me, situations. The other day I meet low-dive Jenny. Well, I said, you old
Polly,
cow.
this is the best food you'll taste today. Gentlemen.
Beautiful dishes. Oh, you tell.
Proper exit from Selfridges. There was supposed to be a bucket of foie gras. But Walter ate it on the way. It was Mac set him on it.
We don't talk about holes in God's sight. Oi! Don't poach your apple like that, Ned. Not on a day like this.
Can't somebody sing something? Something splendiferous. I didn't mean for us to start eating yet. Instead of seeing you people wade straight into the trough, I would have liked something from the heart. That's what other people do on this sort of occasion.
What, for instance?
Am I supposed to think of everything myself? I'm not asking you to put on an opera. But you might have arranged for something else besides stuffing your bellies and making filthy jokes. Never mind. It's a day like this, you find out who your friends are.
Food is marvellous, Mac.
I'll bet you've never had any food like this. You get this all the time on Mac the Knives. You landed in the highly bought right. I've always said Mac should be with a girl who has a feeling for finer things in life. I was only telling Lucy yesterday.
Lucy? Mac, who's Lucy? Lucy? Oh, you know. Nothing serious. What's something? It's not perhaps? What did you say, Mr. Quickbricker Joe? Nothing. Nothing at all. The main thing I wanted to say really was nothing at all. Oh,
So, you won't sing anything? Has it got to be a miserable, gloomy day like any other?
Yeah.
Come to think of it, is anybody guarding the door? Oh, I suppose you want me to attend to that myself too. Really? Do you want me on this day of days to guard the door so you lot can stuff your bellies at my expense?
What do you mean at your expense? Fuck off.
Ah, fine joke on a day like this if all the wedding guests were brought in.
Nonsense! It's the Reverend Gilmore!
Good evening, all. A lonely hut. Humble, but your own.
Property of the Duke of Devonshire.
I'm so happy that on the happiest day of our lives, you.
And now I request a rousing song for the Reverend Kimball.
Be nice if you do a little number, boys.
Gentlemen, if none of you wishes to perform, I myself will sing a little song. It's an imitation of a girl I met once at this Threepenny Opera in Soho. She was washing the dishes, and all the customers were laughing at her. She said things like the things I'm going to sing to you. Right, this is a bar, and what you think of it is filthy. She stood behind him, morning and night. And you guys can laugh too if you want. You make it exactly the same, but you don't have to if you don't want to. Alright, now begin. All the punters assume I'm the girl with a broom who is good for a laugh or two, and they leer at my body as I'm sweeping the floor, and they treat me like a skivvy and I feel like a whore, but they haven't got a clue who they're dealing with. No, I'm telling you, they've not got a clue. Suddenly one evening there'll be shouts from the harbour and they'll say, "What's all that bloody row?" And they'll see me smiling by the window, and they'll say, "So why is she smiling now?" It's that ship in the harbour with its 4 dozen cannons, and they're pointing at you. So it's back to the grind and the noise in my mind, and there's more sodding work to do, and the slobs are rather playful when there's beds to be made, and they think I should be grateful for the pittance I am paid, but they haven't got a clue who they're dealing with. No, I'm telling you, they've not got a clue. Suddenly one evening there'll be shouts from the harbour, and their laughter freezes in the air, and they'll see me waving by the window, and they'll say, "What's going on down there?" It's that ship in the harbour with its 4 dozen cannons, and they're shelling our town. By the break of day, the attack's underway. The morning's as grey as slate, and they're screaming in the streets where the town used to be, and they'll round up all the stragglers and they'll drag them to me, and they want me to pronounce my sentence, and the men wait to hear their fate. There's a very satisfying hush in the harbour as they wait to hear who's going to die, and they're up against the wall, so I say, "Go on, kill them all!" And when the shooting stops, I say, "Yes!" And my comrades will rally to the grey pirate galleon, and I'll take command.
art. It's not nice. You did that marvelous. It's wasted on trash like this. If you'll excuse me, Your Reverence. Anyway, I don't like you play at it. Let's not have any more of it.
Captain! Captain! The coppers! Tiger Brown! Tiger Brown!
Yes, Tiger Brown! Exactly! It's Tiger Brown himself, Chief Sheriff of London, pillar of the Old Bailey, who will now enter Captain Keith's humble abode! Think about it!
You'll be a drop for us!
Hello, Jackie.
Hello, Mark.
Good to see you again, old chap.
I haven't this time. Got to be leaving in a minute. Does it have to be somebody else's stable? Why? This is breaking and entering again.
Jackie, this is such a good address. I'm glad you could come to Old Mac's wedding. Oh, let me introduce you to my wife, May Peach. Polly, this is Tiger Brown. What do you say, old man? Oh, and these are my friends. I suppose you've seen them all before.
I'm here unofficially, Mark.
Ah, so are they. Jake!
That's Crookfinger Jake. He's a dirty dog.
Hey, Walter.
But just for today, I'll turn a blind eye.
Ned. Matthew.
Be seated, gentlemen. Be seated.
Thank you, sir.
I'm delighted to meet you from Matt's charming wife.
I mentioned it, sir.
Sit down, you old bugger, and pitch into the whiskey. Holly and gentlemen, you have today in your midst a man who the king's instructable wisdom has placed high above his fellow men, and who has nonetheless remained my friend throughout storms and perils. Well, so on, you know who I mean. And you too, Brown, know who I mean. Jackie, do you remember how we served in India together? Soldiers, both of us. Oh, Jackie, let's sing the canon song right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! John was a squaddy and Jim was a toff.
And both of them behaved like wankers.
George is a sergeant to fuck right
And
off.
he spent 20 days on shankers.
The British Army
We'll make salami.
from Basra to Goose Green.
We'll help them foreign out to make them pouring out. Brown or black or khaki,
A darkie's still a darkie. You'll notice from the bodies where the squaddies have been. John got plugged when he took Marrakesh.
and Jimmy got sniped by the RGs.
Georgie got the shit so
Take his onion budget.
the British Army will make salami from Basra to Goose Green.
We'll help them foreign out to make them pouring out. Brown or black or khaki,
A darkie's
still a darkie.
you'll notice from the bodies
Where the squaddies have been.
interests are very different. Some people would go so far as to say diametrically opposed. Our friendship has come through unimpaired. Think about it. Castor and Pollux, Hector and Andromache. Seldom have I, the humble bandit, and you know what I mean, made even the smallest haul without giving him, my friend, a share, a substantial share, as a gift, a token of my unswerving loyalty. And seldom has he. Take that fucking knife out of your mouth, Jake! Your powerful chief of police staged to me without sending me his boy friend. A little tip-off. Well, so on and so forth. It's all a matter of give and take. I'm glad you come to Old Man's wedding. Call that true friendship. Did you know, Jackie, I had to have you here today. I hope it's not too awkward for you in your position.
You know, Mark, that I really can't refuse you anything. But I really must be going. I've got so much on my plate, if the slightest thing should go wrong at the Queen's coronation.
You see, Jackie, my father-in-law, he's a revolting old bastard. If he tries to make trouble for me, is there anything on record against me at Scotland Yard?
There is nothing whatsoever on record against you in Scotland Yard.
I knew it.
I've taken care of that. Good night.
Are you fellas going to stand up?
Best of luck.
Sigma, I've got the highest contacts.
I must admit, I couldn't repress a certain alarm a while ago when I heard Tiger Brown was coming.
And now for a little surprise.
Mark always has some iron and fire that the rest of us don't respect. But we have our own little iron and fire. Gentlemen, it's actually 9:30.
And now for the piece de resistance.
Hey.
I say, what's going on here?
Another surprise, Captain.
Thank you, friends.
And now we shall quietly take our leave.
Now, the time has come for softer sentiments. Without them, man is a mere beast of burden. Sit down. Look at the moon. Look so low.
I see it, dearest. Feel my heart beating, my beloved.
Feel it, my beloved.
Wherever you shall go, I shall be with you.
And wherever you stay, there too shall I be.
Stop! Scene 3. To Peachum, conscious of the hardness of the world, the loss of his daughter means utter ruin. Peachum's outfitting emporium for beggars. To the right, Peachum and Mrs. Peachum. In the doorway stands Polly, holding her travelling bag.
Are you really married?
When I was a virgin, I used to believe there's a way that the world ought to be. That there was a code which I had to observe if a fella came chasing after me. That if he looked nice, that if he talked nice, that if his shirts were always white as snow, that if he knew how to treat a girl respectfully, I said I'd let him go. If you always keep your head held high, then that's all you need to know. Gaze together at the starry night, even have a tete-a-tete by candlelight, but that's as far as it can go. No, you don't just smile and pull your knickers down. was uglier than sin. He didn't care if he treated me respectfully, and that's why I let him in. I had always kept my head held high, now I learned to hold it low. Gaze together at the starry night, then we even had a meal by candlelight, and it somehow had to be so. Yes, you're sometimes glad to pull your knickers down. There are times when you'd be mad to tell him no. Once you met him, you won't forget him. So never, ever let him go.
So she's associating with criminals. That's lovely. Delightful.
So, you're immoral enough to get married, to have to be horseback before an highwayman. That'll cost you dear one of these days. Ought to have seen it coming. Even as a child, she'd have swollen up there like the Queen of England.
She's really got married.
Yes, yesterday at 5 in the afternoon.
You're a notorious criminal, come to think of it. Shows that the fellow's really audacious. If I give away my daughter, sole prop of my old age, why, my house will cave in and my last dog will run off. I think twice about giving away the dirt under me bloody fingernails. I mean risking starvation. If the three of us can get through the winter on one log of wood, maybe we'll live to see the new year. Maybe.
What's got into you, Jonathan? Oh, this is our reward for all we've done. I can't see straight. Jonathan, my head's spinning. Oh, I think I'm gonna. That glass of whiskey.
Grab her a glass of whiskey. So she's associating with criminals. That's lovely. Delightful. Interesting how the poor woman takes it to heart. That's the only consolation your poor mother's got left.
Go ahead. Give her 2 glasses. Mama will take twice as much as she's not quite herself. That'll put her back on her feet.
So loving. So sympathetic.
I meant to make a complaint, see? That thing was a mess. It wasn't a proper stump, and I'm not about to waste my money on it.
What do you expect? It's as good a stump as any other. You just don't keep it clean.
Oh, why don't I take in as much money as the others? No, you can't do that to me. If I wanted crap like that, I could saw off my real leg.
What do you want anyway? Is it my fault if people I like to fling? In 5 minutes I can turn any man into such a pitiful wreck, it'd make dogs weep to see it. Is it my fault people don't weep? I'll give you another stump later. You're looking a bit fat. You been eating again?
Oh, Mr. Peachum, really? I haven't eaten that much. I'm just abnormally fat. I can't help it.
Nor can I. You're fired! My dear man, there's an obvious difference between tugging at heartstrings and getting on nerves. Artists, yeah? Artists. That's what I need. Only an artist can tug at anyone's heartstrings nowadays. If you perform properly, your audience will be forced to applaud. You just haven't any ideas. Obviously, I can't extend your engagement.
Look, is he particularly handsome? No, but he makes a living. He can support me. Not only is he a first-class murderer, but a far-sighted stick-up man too. I've been into it. I can tell you his exact amount of savings to date. With a few successful ventures, we'll be able to retire to the country, just like that Mr. Shakespeare that Father admires so much.
What does a girl do when she gets married? Well, use your head.
What?
She gets a divorce. See? Is that so hard to figure out?
Don't know what you're talking about.
Divorce!
But I love him! How can I think of divorce?
Really?
Mother, if you've ever been in love.
Ever been in love? Those sad books you've been reading have got into your head, Polly. Why, everybody's doing it.
And then I'm an exception.
Now turn your behind, you exception!
Oh well, what must do that? It's no use, is it? Because love goes deeper than a town behind.
Constrain my patience.
I won't let my love be taken away from me.
One more word out of you and I'll clip your ear!
But love is
What made you think of that? That's actually a good idea. Run along, Polly! Run along! Quite right, that was nice of what you meant.
See, I would want to sheriff.
Naturally. Besides, that way, it's 2 birds with 1 stone. Only, you got to figure out where he's holed up.
I'll tell you that, my dear. His name is
Oh, but they won't turn him in, will they?
Just let me tend to that, Jonathan. Money rules the world. I'll go there, Tunbridge. I'll talk to the girls. If he turns up, he's done for.
Dear Mamma, you can spare yourself the trip. Mac will go to the Old Bailey sooner than meet any of those ladies. And if he did go to the Old Bailey, the sheriff would serve them a cocktail, they drink their drinks and smoke their cigars and have a little chat in a shop in this town where a little bit more goes on than meets the eye. Because at the party, the sheriff was very cheerful and hard-headed.
What's the sheriff's name?
Brown, but everyone that has a reason to fear him calls him Tiger Brown. But my husband, you see, calls him Jackie. Because to him, he's just dear old Jackie, their boyhood friends.
So they're friends, are they? The Sheriff of London and public enemy number 1? They must be the only friends in this city.
When they go out drinking together, they rub each other's cheeks and say, if you have another one, I'll have another one. And when the other one needs the room, their eyes grow moist and they say, wherever you shall go, I shall be with you. There's nothing on record against Mac at Scotland Yard.
I see. Mr. McKee, a gentleman who has assuredly been married many times before, has lured my daughter from her home on pretext of marriage. Before the week is out, he'll be taken to the gallows on that account, and deservedly so. Mr. McKee, you once had white kid gloves that came with an ivory handle, a scar on your neck, and frequented the Cuttlefish Hotel. All that's left is the scar, undoubtedly the least valuable of your distinguishing marks. And today, you frequent nothing but prison cells. And within the foreseeable future, no place at all.
But I'm Jonathan, dear. I bring it off. Hey, Mac the Knife, the most notorious criminal in London.
Who's Mac the Knife? Get ready. We're going to see the Sheriff of London. You're going to Tunbridge.
To see his whores, Polly.
But the villainy of the world is great, and a man needs to run his bloody legs off to keep him from being stolen from under him.
Well, I, Papa, shall be glad to shake hands with the sheriff again. Aren't you listening? Can't you see? Life was tedious and gloomy, but a man has come to woo me, and he yearns and burns for me, and he sets my spirit free.
We all deserve prosperity and freedom, and happiness is everybody's right, right? With loving friends to call on when you need 'em, a bite to eat and somewhere warm to sleep at night, and children and the wherewithal to feed 'em. It's all a jolly laudable ambition, 'cause no one should be sleeping in the snow, and no one should be dying of malnutrition. But let's be practical, it isn't so.
We will always think of you, if forever I'm bearing. It's alright, your way of caring. If we tell you what to do, it's because it's best for you.
Who wouldn't want to help the human race? Who wouldn't want to subsidize the poor? I'd love to put a smile on every face and put an end to poverty and war. I'd love to make the world a better place. But people have to earn their bread and butter. You have to pay the rent and run a car. Great Britain's getting poorer than Calcutta.
but let's be practical. That's how things are.
It's something which you can't deny, that life's a bitch and then you die.
Glad we all see eye to eye, that life's a bitch and then you die. I'd love a land where milk and honey flow, but let's be practical. It isn't so. It definitely isn't so. You ask your brother round to eat, he'll steal the shoes from off your feet, and then he'll kick you in the face. Oh, don't you love the human race? Your wife will hang around your neck, but you ignore her for a sec. She'll kick you in another place. Oh, don't you love the human race? And think of all the things you did so you could educate your kids, and then they shove it in your face. Oh, don't you love the human race?
Yes, it's invidious, that's everything so hideous. We have to say what must be said, that life's a bomb and then you're dead.
Glad we all see eye to eye, that life's a bitch and then you die. We should be high instead of low, but let's be practical. It isn't so. We should be good instead of base, but let's be practical. It's not the case.
We must admit that life's a joke, a crock of shit and then you choke.
I'm glad we all see eye to eye, that life's a bitch and then you die.
Yes, it's invidious, that's everything so hideous. It's something which you can't deny, that life's a bitch and then you die. Act 2, Scene 4. Mac the Knife takes leave of his wife and flees from his father-in-law to the heaths of Highgate. A stable.
Mac, I'm so frightened.
Well, what's up? Polly, you look a wreck.
I've been to see Brown. My father went too and they decided to pull you in. My father made some terrible threats and Brown stood up for you at first, but then he weakened and now he thinks you better stir yourself and make yourself scarce for a while. Mac, you must pack right away!
Pack? Nonsense. Polly, sit down. You and I have got better things to do than pack.
Not right now, Mac. I'm so frightened. All they could talk about was hanging.
I don't like it when you're moody, Polly. There's nothing on record against me at Scotland Yard.
Perhaps there wasn't yesterday, but suddenly there's an awful lot. I don't even know if I can remember them all, Mac. The list goes on so. You've killed 2 shopkeepers, over 30 burglaries, 22 hold-ups, God knows how many acts of arson, forgery and forgery, all within the last 18 months. You're a terrible man. And in Winchester, you seduced 2 sisters under the age of consent.
See, they told me they were over 20. What did Brown say?
He caught up with me in the corridor. He said there was nothing he could do for you for now. Oh, Mac!
All right. Okay. If I've got to go away, then you'll have to run the business.
Oh, don't talk about business now, Mac. In case you're poor Polly, I swear that...
Here are the ledgers. Listen carefully. This is the list of the personnel. First of all, Crookfinger Jake. Let's see what he's brought in. Here are half of the business. 1, 2... Don't sit on my lap right now, I'm not in the mood. 5 gold watches. Not much, but clean work. Dreary Walter. Unreliable sod. He sells stuff on the side. Give him 3 weeks' grace and get rid of him. Just turn him into Brown.
Just turn him into Brown.
Oh, Jimmy the Second. Cheeky bastard. Good worker, but cheeky. Swipes bedsheets right out from under ladies of the best society. Give him a rise.
I'll give him a rise.
Oh, Robert the Saw. Not a glimpse of genius. Small potatoes. Won't end up on the gallows, but he won't leave any estate either.
Won't leave any estate.
In all other respects, you will carry on exactly the same as before. You get up at 7, wash, have your weekly bath and so on. That's very important, Polly.
You're right. I must look after the business. But yours is mine now, right, Mackie? What shall I do with your chambers? Shall I give them away? I don't like having to pay the rent.
No, I still need them.
What for? It's a waste of our money.
Oh, so you think I won't be coming back at all, do
You
you?
can rent other rooms, Mac. Oh, Mac, I can't bear it. I keep looking at your lips and then I forget what you say. Will you be faithful to me, Mac?
Of course, I will be faithful. I will do as I am done by. Do you think I don't love you? It's only that I see farther than you.
I'm so grateful that you're thinking about me when they're after you like bloodhounds.
You will carry on sending the profits to Jack Pool's banking house in Manchester. Between ourselves, it's only a matter of weeks before I go over to banking altogether. It's safer and it's more profitable. 2 weeks at the most, all of the money will have to be taken out of the business. Then off you go to Brown. You give the list to the police. And in 4 weeks, all that human scum will be locked up safely in the cells of the Old Bailey.
But how can you look them in the eye when you've written them off and they're as good as dead? How can you shake hands with them?
With who? Robert the Saw, Matt of the Mint, Crookfinger Jake, those jailbirds. Ah, gentlemen.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Pleasure to see you.
I've got a hold of the coronation programme. Looks like we're going to be busy the next few days. With the Archbishop of Canterbury to be coming down in the next half an hour.
When?
5:30. We're going to be showing off for this.
Yes. You better be shoving off.
What do you mean, you?
I'm afraid I'm obliged to take a little trip.
God, I'd have to nap you.
Yes.
Is the coronation coming up? A coronation without you is that porridge of our spoon.
Ah, shut your trap. In view of that, I am temporarily handing over the management of this business to my wife.
Well,
What'd you say, boys? We've seen this job, eh?
It's no business of mine, but I'm not sure a woman, not saying anything well.
What do you say to that, Polly?
You fucking shit! Of course you wouldn't say anything against me! If you was, these gentlemen would have tanned your ass and slit your throat for you! Wouldn't you, gentlemen?
hooray! The missus knows how to lay it on. Hooray for Polly!
Hooray
for Polly!
for
Damn.
The rotten part of it is that I won't be here for the coronation. The coronation. There's a gilt-edged deal for you. In the daytime, nobody's home. And at night, the toffs are all drunk. Which reminds me, Matthew. You drink too much. Last week, you suggested it was you who set the Greenwich Children's Hospital on fire. If such a thing occurs again, you're out. So, who set the Children's Hospital on fire?
I did.
Who did it?
You, Mr. McGee!
I'm going to ask you once more. Who did it?
You did! At this rate, our school will never rise in the world.
Oh, you'll rise all right if you think you can go against me. Who ever heard of one of those professors at Oxford College allowing some assistant to put his name to his mistakes? He puts his own.
Well, your husband is the way, ma'am. You are the boss. We settle up every Thursday, ma'am.
Every Thursday, boys!
Now, farewell, my heart. Don't forget to look after your complexion. I make up every day exactly as if I were here. That's very important, Polly.
And you, promise me you'll never look at another woman, and that you'll leave town right away. It's not jealousy that makes your little Polly say this, no. It is very important, Mac.
Polly, why should I go around drinking up the empties? I love only you. As soon as the twilight is deep enough, I will take my black stallion from somebody's stable, and before you can see the moon from your window, I will be on the other side of Highgate Heath.
Oh, Mac, don't tear me out of my body. Stay with us and let me be happy.
I must tear my own heart out of my body, for I must go and no one knows when I shall return.
It's been such a short time, Mac.
Does it have to be the end?
Last night I had a dream. I was looking out the window because I heard laughter in the street and I looked up and I saw our moon. And the moon was worn down and thin like a penny. Don't forget me, Mac, in strange cities.
Of course I won't forget you. Kiss me, Polly.
Goodbye, Mac.
Goodbye, Polly. For love will endure. Or not endure, regardless of where we are.
He never will come back. Nice while it lasted, now it's over.
Jenny,
Mrs. Peachum?
if you see Mac the Knight for the next few days, you run to the nearest constable and turn him in. We'll earn you 10 shillings.
Shall we see him? If the hunt is on, if they're after him, he won't be spending his time with us.
Oh, Jenny dear. McKeith is not the man to turn down his own habits. 10 shillings.
Observe my kid, the legal type of charm. You wouldn't think a chink was in his arm. A man who lives on sea loves into swimming. And guess what always drags him under? Women. He lives the life that he is forced to live. And that's the sexual imperative.
Observe this sort of
all imperative.
And lastly, there's the Padre celebrating name, a proper combat, bottom hypocrite. If you preach chastity, then practice it, not to the opposite, as in a shame. He may be kneeling, but he's up and thrusting, enjoying what he cares to find disgusting.
Act 2, Scene 5. Before the coronation bells have died away, Mac the Knife is sitting with the Halls of Town Bridge. The Halls betray him. It is Thursday evening.
He won't come today.
No,
I don't think he'll ever come again.
that would be a pity.
Think so? If I know him, he's out of town by now. This time, he's really cleared out.
My coffee.
My cocky.
Why aren't you an eye gate?
It's my Thursday. Do you think I can let such trifles interfere with my habits? Besides, it's raining.
In the name of the king, Captain McKees is charged with 3.
What, you too?
Naturally, the whole team.
Look, that's the warrant. Let's see your hand.
Hey,
Read his palm, Jenny. You do it so well.
coming into money.
No, not coming into money.
What's that look for, Jenny? Gives me the shivers.
A long journey?
No, no long journey.
What do you see?
Please, only the good stuff, not the bad.
All I see is a narrow, dark place, with not much light. And then I see a big T. That means a woman's treachery. And then I see...
Stop! I'd like to know more about that narrow, dark place. And the treachery. What's this treacherous woman's name?
All I know is that it begins with a J.
Then you've got it wrong. It begins with a P.
Mac, when the bells at the Westminster ring, just know you'll be in for a sticky time.
Go on. What's the matter? Ah, they've got it wrong. There were only 3 of them.
Exactly.
It's nice underwear you've got there.
From the cradle to the grave, underwear first, last, and all the time.
I never wear silk. Makes a gentleman feel you got something wrong with you.
Where are you going, Jenny?
You'll see.
But homespun underwear can put them off too. Oh, I've had great results with homespun underwear.
Makes the gentleman feel they're at home.
Do you still have that black lace trimming?
Still directly trimming.
Oh, and what kind of lingerie do you have on?
I was about to tell you. I can't take anybody to my room. I'm just so crazy about mopping it. And in doorways, I just don't wear any.
Finished?
No, I just got to the rapes.
But where's Jenny?
Oh.
Ladies, long before my star rose over this city,
Long before my star rose over this city.
I lived in the most impecunious circumstances with one of you, dear ladies. And though today I am Mac the Knife, my good fortune will never lead me to forget the companions of my dark days. Especially Jenny, whom I love the most. Now listen, please. So long ago, and oh so far away, can't remember what we used to be. The mists of time have made it hard to see. But I loved her, and she made love for me. A strange arrangement, we managed okay. The punters came and went, and when they came, they went. I took my cut and the remainder paid the rent. It was perfection for my baby and me. When she had company, I'd make them tea. It was the sweetest place there's ever been. Our little knocking shop in Bethnal Green. Hello, sir! Do you want some? Madam, can I offer you a job? Don't be shy!
So far away, and oh so long ago. Perhaps those days have faded, hard to tell. And no one there would dare to cross my keys. When I complained, you punched me in the teeth. Yes, you were brutal. Perhaps it was hell. There was his gamblings and all the bills to pay. So I talked dirty over 30 times a day. Well, I fake passion till it made me sore. I take the cash and make me work for more. I never knew that you could be so mean. For in that knocking shop in Bethnal Green, since that fine day, so many have gone by. We've had our shares of wrinkles, you and I.
When you were mine, the world was full of song.
And it was fine till everything went wrong. We had the baby, but it didn't last long. When I felt pregnant, it was festive for a day.
But then we thought it best to wash it all away.
The drunken doctor showed us what to do.
We took the mess and put it down the loo.
And for a while, a smile was rarely seen around that knocking
Shop in
Bethnal Green.
Come in quietly.
Is there only one way out of this dump? Jenny! Good afternoon, ma'am.
My dear Mr. McKeith, my husband says the greatest heroes in history have trembled over this humble threshold.
May I ask how your husband is doing?
Better! Thank you. Come, Constable, escort the gentleman to his new home. Oh, and ladies, if you wish to visit him, you'll find him invariably locked up in his new residence, the Old Bailey. And you'd be round to see his holes. Oh, yeah. That's settled, Bill. Where's Mac?
The roses are here.
Oh, fuck!
Act 2, Scene 6. Betrayed by the whores, McHeath is freed from prison from the love of yet another woman. The cells in the Old Bailey, a cage. Enter Brown.
If only my men don't catch him. Let's hope to God he's riding out beyond Highgate Heath thinking of his Jackie. But he's so frivolous like all great men. If they bring him in now and he looks at me with those faithful, friendly eyes, I won't be able to bear it. Anyway, the moon is shining. If he is riding across the heath, at least he won't stray from the path. What's that? Oh my God! They're bringing him in!
Oh, flat feet. Thank God we're home again.
Oh man! It wasn't me! I did everything! Don't look at me like that, man! Say something! Say something to your poor Jackie! Oh, he doesn't deem me worthy of even a word!
That miserable Brown. The living picture of a bad conscience. And he calls himself the chief of police. I was going to shout at him at first, but just in time it occurred to me that a deep, withering stare would send much colder shivers down his spine. And it worked. I looked at him and he wept bitterly. That's a trick I got from the Bible. Well, Mr. Warder, I suppose these are the heaviest you've got. With your kind permission, I should like to apply for a more comfortable pair.
Of course, Captain. We've got in here every price. It all depends how much you want to spend, really. From 1 guinea to 10.
How much would none at all be?
50.
Now this business with Lucy is bound to come out. If Brown hears that I've been carrying on with his daughter behind his friendly back, he'll turn into a tiger.
You've made your bed, now lie on it.
I bet the little tart is waiting outside right now. I can see happy days between now and the execution.
You dirty dog, you! How can you look me in the face when there's almost been between us?
Have you no bowels? No tenderness, my dear Lucy, seeing a husband in such circumstances?
Husband! You monster! So you think I don't know about your goings on with Miss Beecham?
Seriously, Lucy, you're not fool enough to be jealous of Polly.
You're married to her, aren't you, you beast?
Married? It's true. I go to the house, I chat with a girl, I kiss her. Now the silly jade goes about telling everyone that I'm married to her. Oh, I am ready, my dear Lucy, to give you satisfaction if you think there is any in marriage. What can a man of honour say more? He can say nothing more.
Oh, Mac, I only want to become an honest woman.
If you think marriage with me will. All right. What can a man of honour say more? He can say nothing more.
Where is my dear husband? Maggie! There you are. Why'd you turn away from me? Is your bully? Is your wife? Oh, you miserable villain. I'm Maggie in prison. Why didn't you ride against the Highgate Heath? You told me you weren't going to see those women anymore. And I said nothing because I believed in you, Mac. Not one kind word. Not one kind look. Feel your poor Polly must be suffering to see you like this. Oh! The slut! What does this mean, Mac? Who on earth is that? Might at least tell her who I am. Go on! Tell her I'm your wife! Go on! Mac! Look at me! Tell me I'm not your wife! You low town sneak! Say something, Mac! I've got 2 wives, you monster! I've not done everything for you! Your best mate's oh, it's some man! I do know that! That's a spy! I just want to know that! But I did everything I could be arranged!
If you two would kindly shut your traps for 1 minute! I'll explain everything.
No! I won't shut my trap! I can't bear it! It's more than flesh and blood can stand! Well, naturally the wife has. Oh, why? Yes! Naturally the wife is entitled to some preference, or at least the idea of it, my dear young lady. All this fuss and buff will drive the poor man mad! Fuss, bother? That's a good
one. What you gone and dragged in now? This messy little tart. So this is your great conquest. So this is your Rose of Old Soho.
All right, Lucy, calm down. You see, this is just a trick of Polly's. She wants to come between us. I'm going to be hanged and she wants to parade as my widow. Seriously, Polly, this isn't the moment.
Have you the heart to disclaim me?
And have you the heart to go on about my being married? Oh, Polly, why do you have to add to my misery? Polly! Polly!
It's true, Miss Peachum. You're putting yourself in quite a bad light. Quite apart from the fact that it's uncivilised of you to worry a gentleman in his situation.
The most elementary rules of decency, my dear young lady, ought to have taught you to treat a man with a little bit more reserve when his wife is present.
Oh, seriously, Polly, that's carrying a joke too far.
And if, my dear miss, you continue to cause a row here in this prison, I shall feel obliged to call for the screw and have him show you the door. I'm sorry, my dear miss.
Mrs. McKeith! The airs you give yourself are most unbecoming, my dear young lady. My dignity obliges me to stand my husband.
What's that? What's that? Oh, she won't leave. She stands there and we've her out. She won't leave. Must I speak more plainly?
Do you just hold your filthy tongue, you slut! Or knock your block off.
You've been thrown out, you interloper! Perhaps that's not clear enough for you. You don't understand nice manners.
Oh, you and your nice manners! Oh, I shouldn't. Oh, I shouldn't stoop to. Oh, I'm losing my dignity.
Just look at my face, slut! Just suppose I got that from out of nowhere. Haven't you eyes in your head?
Oh, so you're in the family way, and you suppose that gives you rights? Well, you should ready!
Polly!
Mac, you shouldn't have done that. Now I don't know what to do.
Oh, yes. I knew it. She's with her man. You little trollop. When they hang your man, you can hang yourself too. Randy's got two of them. What more, slut? Now get going.
Leave me here. You don't know.
This is important too. Now get going.
There you are. It takes your mama to tell you how to behave.
Get going.
I have to tell him something. It's really important.
It's important too. Now come on.
Lucy, you were magnificent. Of course, I felt sorry for her. That's why I couldn't treat the slut as she deserved. Just for a moment, you thought there was some truth in what she said, didn't you?
Yes, my dear. I suppose I did.
Well, if there were any truth in it, her mother wouldn't have put me in this situation. Did you hear how she laid into me? Now a mother might treat a seducer like that, not a son-in-law.
Oh, Mac, it makes me so happy to hear you say that from the bottom of your heart. I love you so much, I almost wanted to see you in the gallows in the arms of another. Isn't that strange?
Lucy, I should like to owe you my life.
It's wonderful the way you say that. Say again.
Lucy, I should like to owe you my life.
Shall I run away with you, dearest?
Well, but you see, if we run away together, it won't be easy for us to hide. Oh, when they stop looking, I'll send for you post-haste. You know that.
What can I do to help you?
Bring me my top hat and cane. Dear Lucy, thank you.
Let's have that cane.
Hey, Mark! Mark, answer me, it's Jackie! Mark! Who Mackies? What's this?
He's gone. Shit! Find
name's Peacham. I've come to collect the £40 reward for the capture of Bandit McKeith. Excuse me? Is that Mr. McKeith? Oh, I come here to visit a criminal. And who do I find here but Mr. Brown? Tiger Brown's here, and his friend McKeith is not.
Mr. Peacham, it wasn't my fault.
Of course not. How could it be? You'd never have dreamt considering the situation it will land you in.
Mr. Peacham, I'm beside myself.
I believe you. Terrible you must feel.
Yes, it is this feeling of helplessness that ties one's hands so. Those fellows do just as they please, it's dreadful.
Wouldn't you care to lie down a while? Just imagine, you're on a lovely green meadow with little white clouds overhead. The main thing is to forget all about those ghastly things. Those are the past. And most importantly, those that are still to come.
What do you mean by that?
I'm amazed at your fortitude. In your position, I should simply collapse, crawl into bed and drink hot tea. And most of all, find someone to find a soothing hand to put on my forehead.
Oh, damn it all! It's not my fault that the fellow escaped. There's not much the police can do about it.
Oh, I see! There's not much that the police can do about it. You don't believe we'll see Mr. McKeith again here, do ya?
What do you mean?
Right. Well, in that case, your fate will be hideously unjust. People are sure to say, they always do, that the police shouldn't have let him escape. Nah, I can't see that glittering coronation procession just yet.
What do you mean?
Lord be with you, Brown.
Now only the male fist can help. Sergeant! Report to me at the double!
Listen to the sentimental preachers who try to teach the world a better way. But they forget that men are hungry creatures. First give us breakfast, then we'll start the day. They all imagine peace and plenty everywhere. Contentment from the cradle to the grave. It's a utopia and one we'd love to share. But you must feed us, then we'll all behave. These moral absolutes are hard to follow. Just give us something tangible to swallow.
What keeps a man alive? What keeps a man alive? It's his compulsion to steal and cheat and kick his fellow man in the face. You have to eat the shit without revulsion and turn our backs upon the human race. You have to kill your neighbor.
campaign, he planned to disrupt the coronation by a demonstration of human misery.
Gentlemen, at this moment in our 11 branches from Drury Lane to Turnbridge, 1,432 gentlemen are working on signs like these with a view to attending the coronation of our Queen.
Get a move on! You can't work, you can't beg! You call yourself a blind man, you can't even smell a proper cave! That's supposed to be child's right, anyone would think it was an old man's.
That's the coronation called presenting arms. Little do they know that today, their biggest day of their military careers, they'll have us to deal with. Sorry.
Mrs. Patron, there's a sneaky-looking head came with somebody jeep her.
Madam!
You do look as though you've fallen off your perches. Suppose you come to collect the money from dear Mr. McKeith. Well, you ain't getting nothing. You hear me? Nothing.
How are we to understand that, man?
Bursting in here in the middle of the night. Coming to a respectful house at 3 in the morning. You should think with the work you do, you should get some sleep. You look like a sicked-up milk.
Then you won't give us a stipulated fee for turning in Mr. McKeith, man.
Well, exactly. No 30 pieces of silver for you.
Why not, man?
Why, you see, madam, your dear Mr. McKeith has fled to the 4 winds. And now, madam, get out of my parlour!
I called up the limits! You talk to anyone like that but me! Anyone but me!
You show it at the door then.
I would be so grateful if you were even to bite your tongue, and if you don't, I'm like
What's going on? You haven't given her any money, I hope?
No.
Well, how about it, Jenny? Is Mr. McKeith in jail or isn't he?
Don't talk to me about Mr. McKeith. You're not fit to black his boots. Last night to let a customer go because it made me cry into my pillows how I'd sold that gentleman to you. And what do you think happened this morning? Less than an hour ago, just as I cried myself to sleep, I heard somebody whistle. And down on that street stood the very gentleman I've been crying about. He wanted me to drop down the keys and let him into my arms, forgetting all the wrongs I'd done to him. He is the last sportsman left in London. And if our friend Simply Tawdry can't be with us here today, it's because he went on from me to her to console her too. So now you know. You're not fit to black his boots, you miserable sneak.
Filch, run to the nearest police station. Tell him Mr. McKeith is at Miss Suki Tawdry's place. Anyway, Jenny, what are we arguing for? The money will be paid out. That goes without saying. Celia, dear, you'd do better to make the woman some coffee instead of slagging her off.
There is a man awaiting execution. He can't deny the state its retribution. Life is the opposite of fine and dandy, and how's the poor bastard feeling? Randy, amazing that he's something left to give, and that's the sexual
Turnbridge if in my sleepless nights I hadn't worked out a way to squeeze a penny out of your poverty. I discovered that though the rich of this earth find no difficulty in creating misery, they can't bear to see it, because they're weaklings and fools, just like you! They may have enough to eat till the end of their days. They may be able to wax their floors with butter so that even the crumbs from their tables go fat, but they can't look on unmoved while a man is collapsing from hunger. Of course, that only applies so long as he collapses outside their own front door.
can come by the shop tomorrow and pick up your money. But only once the coronation's over.
Mrs. Peter, leave me speechless.
Fall in! We assemble outside Buckingham Palace in 1 hour. Quick! March!
Cops! I didn't even get to the police station. The police are here.
Hide! Hide!
Get off me!
Here we are. And now, Mr. Beggar's friend, drastic action will be taken. Put the derbies on him, Smith. Here are some of those delightful signs. A victim of military tyranny. Is that you? Tell me, Smith, how is it possible that such a notorious criminal should be running around loose in London?
'Cause he's your pal, Brown.
Who?
Matt the Knife. Not me. I'm no criminal. You can't abuse me. You've got the worst hour of your life ahead of you, Brown. Care for a coffee? Jenny, give the Chief of Police a sip. That's no way to behave. Let's all be friends. We're all law-abiding people, and the law was made for one thing and one thing alone: the exploitation of those who don't understand it, or who are prevented by naked misery from obeying it. And you must obey the law strictly if you want a crumb of it for yourself.
I see. So you believe our judges are corruptible?
Nah, not at all, sir. Our judges are absolutely incorruptible. Some other money could do to make them give a fair verdict.
That's right, Mr. Peter. In half an hour, the poorest of the poor will be marched off to the Winter Quarters in the Old Bailey. All right, boys, round them all up. All the patriots you find here.
Yes.
Have you fellows ever heard of Howard Brown? Tonight, Peter, I've set on a solution, and I believe I may say, saved a friend from mortal peril. I'll simply lock up the whole lot of you for For what? For begging in the street. I seem you have intimidated your intention of embarrassing me and the Queen with these beggars. I shall simply arrest the beggars.
Excellent.
Think about it.
Excellent. But what beggars?
These cripples right here. Smith, we're taking these patriots along with us.
I can save you from a hasty step, Brown. You can thank the Lord that you came to me. You see, Brown, all you can arrest in this place is a few young fellows trying to enjoy their Queen celebration by organising a little fancy dress party. When the real paupers come along, of course, there aren't any here, there will be thousands of them. That's the point. You've forgotten what an immense number of poor people there are, Brown. When you see them standing outside the Abbey, it won't be a festive sight. You see, they don't look good. Do you know what grog blossom is? How about 120 noses, all flushed with grog blossom? It will look disgusting, nauseating. And when you see them standing outside the church door, that's something one wishes to avoid, Brown. You probably think that you can handle us, poor folk. You don't believe that yourself. How will it look if there's 600 poor cripples clubbed down by the police? It will look bad. Disgusting!
That's a threat! See here, you, that's blackmail. We can't touch the man. In the interest of the public order, we simply can't touch it. I've never seen the like of it.
You're seeing it now. Let me tell you something. You can behave as you like to the Queen of England, but you can't tread on the toes of the poorest man in England, or you'll be brought down, Brown.
So you're asking me to arrest Max the Knife? Arrest him. You have to find a man before you can arrest him.
Well, if you say that, I can't contradict you. So I'll find your man for you. We'll see if there's any morality left. Jenny, where's Mr. McKeith at this moment? Go on, Sylvia.
– 21 Oxford Street. That's the tutorials.
Smith, go at once to Suki Tawdry's place at 21 Oxford Street. Arrest Max the Knife and take him to the Old Bailey. In the meantime, I must put on my gala uniform. On today of all days, I must wear my gala uniform.
Brown, if he's not on the gallows by 6 o'clock...
Oh, Mark, it was not to be.
Think about it, eh, Brown?
Third drum roll, change of objective. We head for the dungeons of the Old Bailey.
It's always swings and roundabouts. It's always highs and lows. Example, please take Socrates. As wise as he was, his heart was hollow. He ruled the day that he was born. Each human heart knows what it knows. That's why he had to die. His mind was honeycombed with doubt. His wisdom didn't get him any far. He saw how lost we really are. Take Daedalus and Icarus, a most ingenious pair. They both decided they could fly, and soared like a seagull high in the sky, when no one else would even dare. But as we know, this was not so. That is why they had to die, 'cause men were never meant to fly. Their ingenuity's no use at all. If you can fly, then you can fall. It's always swings and roundabouts. It's always black and white. Macheath is now a sorry sight. His loss was so great, but try as he might, he could not beat his appetite. This was his fate. Lust laid him low. A tragedy had to die, but that's the way it seems to go. His passion didn't do him any good. Perhaps he never thought it would. Act 3, Scene 8. A young girl's room in the Old Bailey.
Miss? Mrs. Polly McKeith wishes to speak with you.
Mrs. McKeith. Show her in.
Polly?
Good morning, madam.
Martin, what is it, please?
Do you recognise me?
Of course I know you.
I've come to beg your pardon for the way I behaved yesterday.
I see.
I've no excuses to offer for my behaviour, but my misfortunes.
Very interesting.
You must forgive me. I was stung by Mr. McKeith's behaviour. He really should not have put us in such a situation. You can tell so when you see him.
I shan't be seeing him.
Of course you will see him.
I shall not see him.
Forgive me.
Because he's very fond of you.
Oh no, you're the only one he loves. I'm sure of that.
You're very kind.
A man is always afraid of a woman that loves him too much, and that he's bound to neglect and avoid her. I could tell at a glance he was more devoted to you than I could have ever guessed.
Do you mean that sincerely?
Of course! Certainly! Very sincerely. Do you believe me?
Dear Miss Polly, both of us have loved him too much. Perhaps.
Now I'd like to tell you how it all came about. 10 days ago I met Mr. McKee for the first time at the Cuttlefish Hotel. My mother was there too. 5 days later, about the day before yesterday, I was married. And yesterday I find out he's wanted by the police for a variety of crimes. And today, I don't know what's going to happen. So you see, 12 days ago I could have never imagined losing my heart to a man.
I understand, Miss Peachum.
Mrs. McKee.
Mrs. McKee.
To tell the truth, I've been thinking about this man an awful lot these past couple hours, and I can't help but feel envious for the way he behaved towards you yesterday. When I left. Only because my mother made me. He didn't show the slightest sign of regret. Oh, maybe he has no heart, and just a stone in his breast. What do you think, Lucy?
Perhaps Mr. McKeith isn't entirely to blame. Perhaps you should have stuck to your own class of people. My dearness.
Mrs. McKee.
Mrs. McKee.
This is true. As my father had always advised, I should have kept it on a strict business fee.
Definitely.
Oh, he's my only possession in the world!
Dear miss, such a misfortune could befall even the most intelligent of women. But then again, you are his wife on paper. That should bring some comfort to you. Poor child, I can't bear to see you so depressed. Won't you have a little something?
What?
A little cup of tea?
Oh yes, a little cup of tea. The hypocritical strumpet.
This ought to do it.
You really have gone to too much trouble, miss. What a lovely photo of him. When did he bring it?
Bring it?
Yeah. When did he bring it to you?
He didn't bring it.
So he didn't bring it up here, to you in this room?
He never was in this room.
Wouldn't matter if he was. Paths of fate are so dreadfully crisscrossed.
You stop talking such nonsense. You only came here to spy.
Then tell me where he is!
Me? Don't you know?
Tell me where he is this minute! I don't know! So you don't know where he is? Word of honour?
No, I don't know.
Hmm?
And you don't know either?
Well, this is terrible. Now he's got 2 commitments, and he's gone.
Oh, Polly, it's so dreadful.
I'm so happy that I've made such a good friend at the end of this tragedy. That's so isn't it? Would you like some more tea?
Just a bit. Oh, Polly, don't be so nice to me, really. I don't deserve it. Polly, men aren't worth it.
Of course men aren't worth it, but what can we do?
No. I'm going to make a clean breast of it. Will you be very mad with me, Polly?
About what?
It's not real.
What?
It's fake. All for that crook.
Oh, that's just magnificent! So it is fake! Oh, you really are a hypocritical strumpet! If you find Mackie, you can keep him! What was that?
Mackie, you've got him once more.
This is the
Funny! This is where I find you. You must change your things. Your husband's been hanged! Come on. Want your widow's weeds? I'll take them then. It'll be a lovely good time. You must cheer up a little bit.
Act 3, Scene 9. Friday morning, 5 a.m. Mac the knife, who has been with his whores again, has again been betrayed by the whores. He is about to be hanged. Death cell. The bells of Westminster ring as the constable's been Keith shackled into the cell.
Bring him in here. Oh, bells of Westminster. Stand up straight. I'm not asking you why you look so worn out. I'd say we're ashamed. All the bells have rung for the third time. Should be at 6. You should have been hanged. Make everything ready.
In the last quarter of an hour, all the streets of Newgate have been jammed with people of all classes. Can't get through.
Strange. And they already know?
If this goes on, everybody in London will know in another quarter of an hour. And instead of the coronation, they will be here. The Queen will be riding through empty streets.
All the more reason for us to move fast. If we're through by 6, that will give people time to get back to the coronation by 7. So they'll get going.
What time is it?
Haven't you got eyes? 5:04.
5:04.
Is he in there?
You want to see?
No. For God's sake, I'll leave it all to you.
All right, Smith. I won't say a word. Not a word about bribery. Fear not. I know all about it. If you let yourself be bribed, you'll have to leave the country for a start. You need enough to live on for the rest of your life. £1,000, eh? But don't say anything. In 20 minutes, I can tell you whether you can have your £1,000 by noon. I'm not saying a word about feelings. Go outside, think it over carefully. Life is short and money is scarce, and I don't even know yet if I can raise any. But if anyone wants to see me, you let them in.
That's a lot of nonsense, Mr. McKeith.
5:25! You took your time!
Yeah, sorry, you see, we had to see.
You see, I'm being hanged, man! I've no time to waste arguing with you. 5:28. All right. How much can you people draw from your savings account right away?
From what? At 5 o'clock in the morning?
Does it really come to this?
Can you manage £400?
Well, what about us? That's all there is.
Who's being hanged? You or me?
Who was like Nuanda Suki Tawdry? Who was like Nuanda Suki Tawdry? Us or you?
Shut your trap! I will be lying somewhere other than with that slut! 5:30.
If that's how it is, Matt, we're just gonna have to do it.
Mr. Brown wishes to know where you'd like for your recast.
Don't bother me. Well, will you or won't you? Asparagus.
Don't you shout at me. I won't have it.
I'm not shouting at you. It's just... Well, Matthew, are you going to let me be hanged?
Of course I'm not going to let you be hanged. But £400, that's all there is.
We have to run, Matt. Otherwise we're not gonna make it. There's such a crowd.
If you two are not here by 5 to 6, you'll never see me again! You'll never see me again!
They've gone. Well, how about that?
£400. I've got to speak to Brown.
Hello.
I can't possibly let you in. You're only number 16. Wait your turn.
Number 16? I'm his wife. I've got to see him.
Not more than 5 minutes, then.
5 minutes? That's perfectly ridiculous. 5 minutes? How have I got to say what I've got to say? It's not so simple. This is goodbye forever. Where is he?
What? Can't you see him?
Oh yeah, thank you.
Polly.
Mackie, here I am.
Yes. Of course.
How are you? Are you well? It's hard.
But what's going to happen to you? What will become of you?
Oh, don't worry. The business is doing very well. That's the least part of it. Are you very nervous, Mackie? By the way, what was your father? There's still so much you haven't told me. I just don't understand. Your health has always been excellent.
Polly, can't you help me to get out?
Oh yeah, of course.
With money, of course. I've arranged with the warder.
The money has gone off to Manchester.
So you've got none on you?
No, I've got nothing on me. But you know, Mackie, I could always talk to someone, you know, like the Queen in person or... Oh, Mackie.
So, have you raised those £1,000?
No.
Tiger's tender?
Yes, this is all we have.
Smith, what does he want me for? It's good we didn't take the food in earlier. We'll take it right in with us to show him how we feel about him. Hello, Mark. Here's your asparagus. Why don't you have some?
Don't you bother, Brown. There are others to show me the last honours.
Oh, Marky.
Would you have the goodness to produce your accounts? You won't mind if I eat in the meantime. After all, it is my last meal.
I hope you enjoy it. Oh, Mark, you're turning the knife in the wound.
The accounts, Brown. The accounts, if you please. No sentimentality.
I've got them right here. The accounts of the past 6 months.
So all you came here to do was to get your money before it was too late.
You know that isn't so.
Don't you worry, son. No one's going to cheat you. What do I owe you? But I want a detailed bill. Life has made me distrustful. In your position, you should be able to understand that.
Mark, when you talk that way, I just can't think.
All right, that'll hold.
The accounts, Brown.
Very well, if you insist. The rewards of Treasury paid you a total of
3 instances at £40 apiece. That comes to £120. A quarter for you makes £30. So that's what we owe you.
Yes. Yes, but really, Mac, I don't think you want to spend your
kindly
last...
stop snivelling. £30. And for that job in Dover, £8.
Why only £8? There was...
Do you believe me or don't you believe me? Your share in the transactions of the last 6 months comes to £38.
In a lifetime, I could read your every thought in your eyes.
Three years in India. John was a squaddy and Jim was a top. 5 years in London. And this is the thanks I get. Here hangs McKeith, who never wronged a flea. A faithless friend has brought him to this pass, and as he hangs from the gallows tree, his neck finds out how heavy is his arse.
If that's the way you feel about it, Mac, the man that impugns my honour impugns me.
Your honour!
Yes, my honour.
Huh?
Smith, let them in.
I can still get you out of here. In another minute, I won't be able to. Have you got the money?
Yes, as soon as the boys get back.
There's no sign of them. The deal's off.
They weren't anxious to let us in, and I said, if you don't get those piss pots out my way, you'll hear from Low-Dive Jenny.
I'm his father-in-law. Which of the president in company is Mr. McKeith?
I'm McKeith.
Fate, Mr. McKeith, has decreed that, though I don't know you, you should be my son-in-law. The occasion of this first meeting is a very sad one. Mr. McKeith, you once had white kid gloves, a cane with an ivory handle, and a scar on your neck, and frequented the Cuttlefish Hotel. All that's left is the scar, undoubtedly the least valuable of your distinguishing marks. And today, you frequent nothing but prison cells, and within the foreseeable future, no place at all.
That's a pretty dress you're wearing.
I ran so hard I thought I was going to have a stroke.
What do my men say? Have they got good places?
Well, you see, Captain, a coronation doesn't happen every day. The gentlemen wish you their best wishes.
Dear Mr. McKeith, to think, about a week ago we were dancing at the Cuttlefish Hotel.
A big heart.
What? The ways of destiny are very cruel here below.
Oh! And to think that I stood shoulder to shoulder with this man under a hail of bullets.
Us Drury Lane girls are frantic. Instead of the coronation, we're all here to see you.
To see me?
All right, let's go. 6 o'clock.
We mustn't keep anybody waiting. Ladies and gentlemen, you see before you a declining representative of a declining social group. We lower middle-class artisans who toil with our humble jemmies on small shopkeepers' cash registers are being swallowed up by big corporations, backed up by banks. What's a jemmy compared with a share certificate? What's breaking into a bank compared with founding a bank? What's murdering a man compared with employing a man? Fellow citizens, I hereby take my leave of you. I thank you all for coming. Some of you are very close to me, and that Jenny should have turned me in. It amazes me greatly. That's proof positive that this world never changes. A concatenation of several unfortunate circumstances has brought about my fall. So be it. I fall.
Be generous about me when I'm gone. It's easy to speak ill of the departed. The little space we have should be untainted. We've nowhere left to live but in your thoughts. When none of us as bad as we are painted, leave prejudice and vengeance to the courts. The dead should teach the living what to do. You pardon me, and I will pardon you. They'll cut me down and take me to the land. The flesh will fall apart beneath the knife. A steaming heap of offal on a slab. That's all that will be left of someone's life. My deeds were once the terrors of the town. You lived in fear and trembling of me. Now someone from the morgue will sluice me down. The bucket, then the sewer, then the sea. If that is how the end is going to be, I'll pardon you if you will pardon me. The tramps, the dealers and the pimps, the disposal men, the pockets pickers, the girls who give the world a glimpse of inviting tax and luring sniggers, the needle boys, the drugs dispensers, the kids who deal in duty free, the girls who steal from Marks and Spencers. I pray to God, you pardon me. You crooked cops with your Mercedes, your mobile phones, your trendy jackets, your cuts from drugs and dice and ladies, your Scotland Yard protections racket. I won't pass judgment on your morals. That's not the way I want to be. I'm sick and tired of picking quarrels. I'll pardon you. You pardon me. Let heaven smash your fucking faces. Slash you and let the blood run free. and I'll break you in 1,000 fucking places. I've pardoned you. You pardon me.
If you don't mind, Mr. McKeith.
Holly and Lucy, stand by your husband in his last hour.
Ladies, whatever there may have been between us,
Oh, get to move on.
Dear audience, we are now coming to the point where we must hang him by the neck because it's the Christian thing to do. But as we want to keep our fingers clean, and you're the people we can't risk offending, we thought we'd better do without this scene and substitute instead a different ending. As this is opera, not life, you'll see justice give way before humanity. So, to stop our story in its course, enter the royal official on his horse.
Hark! He's here! A royal official horseman's here!
I bring a special order from our beloved Queen to have Captain McKeith set at liberty forthwith. As it's a coronation and raised to the hereditary peerage. The castle of Marlborough, likewise a pension of £10,000 to be his in usufruct until his death. Any bridal couple present, Her Majesty bids me to convey her gracious good wishes.
reprieved! Reprieved! I was sure of it. When you're most despairing, the clouds may be clearing.
Reprieved! Your dearest McKeith is reprieved! I'm so happy.
How nicely everything turned out in the end. How nice and easy everything would be if you could reckon with saviours on horseback.
Now, please all stand and join in the hymn of the poorest of the poor, whose most arduous lot you've put on stage here today. In real life, saviours are seldom met with in practice, and the man who kicks about must kick back, which all means that injustice should be spared from persecution. Injustice should be spared from persecution.
Soon it'll freeze to death, for it is cold.
Think of the blizzards and the black confusion,
which in this vale of tears we must behold.
What keeps a man alive is his compulsion to steal and cheat and kick his fellow man in the face. We have to eat the shit without revulsion and turn our backs upon the human race. You have to kill your neighbor to survive. It's selfishness that keeps a man alive.